Today we are making decor for my bedroom makeover. I have 12 DIYs that are super easy that you can do to add a cozy cottage feel to your bedroom. Welcome to my channel, Freckled Mom DIY. If you're new, welcome. And if you're returning, hey! I wanted quite a big piece for this framed piece in my bedroom, so I used one of those Walmart poster frames that are 16 by 20, and they're originally black, so I spray painted this first with my almond just to give it a base for me, and then I went over that with my plaster from Waverly, and after that was good with one coat, I took a baby wipe and my antique wax and I did the entire frame. So I just kind of made it not so white, you know what I mean? I gave it that little antique-y look. And I think it is super cute, but I wanted to add a little bit more, so I just took my dry brush and I went through. I did a little bit heavier on the corners, and then I just did lines throughout the entire frame. Every part got it, and that was just to kind of give it kind of like a vintage look. Now here's that plastic that you get to cover the poster. I took some regular poster board that I had laying around from the kids' projects, and I hot glued it to the plexiglass. So I did it with the shiny side down just so it'd be easier to paint, and I'm just hot gluing it in sections just so it doesn't dry on me before I get to put the paper down. And you could do a double-sided frame here, just so you know. So what I'm doing here is just cutting off the excess poster board. So this is where you could hot glue another frame to the other side, and you could technically paint both sides, but we're just going to do one side today. So then I'm going through with my plaster. I'm going to use this paint for pretty much all my projects today, and I just paint the poster board just so it doesn't look like poster board, you know what I mean? So it actually looks like a painted finished project. I went to my Cameo and I printed out some words, and I used a brown vinyl because my room decor I think it would match really nice with. I just laid it down, and then I have my let's, so you're gonna see what we're gonna do here. And I did the get first so that way it'd be easier to line up the other words, but you do it however you like it, but this is how I wanted it. So I wanted the let's to be a little bit at an angle, and you'll see that in the next picture here. So now I have cozy, so let's get cozy, and that is the complete theme to this room. It is super adorable, and I love all this decor. And then I just peeled off my transfer paper, and I save all my transfer paper to use it for other projects. And I'm just putting everything back into the frame and securing it. How adorable is this? Seriously, I could see myself spending like $30 on this at a store. I just think this is so cute, and it's humongous. Like, it is 16 by 20. It is huge, and we are ready to get cozy. So let's keep going, guys. So these are some cabinets I had taken off of an island in my kitchen, and I'm just filling in the holes with a little bit of spackle that I get from the dollar store. I sanded down the holes, and then I'm going to give this a really good washing and wiping down before I paint it. I brought both cabinet doors out to my garage and gave it a coat of spray paint in almond. Now I'm going to dry brush with my Waverly plaster. This video is in collaboration with my other channel, Freckled Mom at Home. There's a link for the next video where you'll see everything I did to transform my bedroom, including painting, DIY wallpaper, some shopping to get new pillows, and ideas to style a bedroom on a budget. You'll also see some tips to update your stairs and floor. I have tons of other updates to show you and how it all came together. When you're through with the decor and furniture, head over and watch that video. Now I do go a little heavier here in the middle of the cabinet door, and you're gonna see that in a second. Now I take one of those flower transfers that you guys see me use occasionally. These are made by Prima. They are so pretty and so easy to use. I just picked one out that I liked that was tall and skinny. I laid it down, and then I get the little wooden stick that comes along with it, and I just rub it really, really good. I like to use the wooden stick first, but I always go through with my little Cricut brush over here, just so that way I make sure everything is really adhered to the wood. And you can kind of see it if you're real close. You can kind of tell when you're ready to pull it up. And that's it. You're ready to pull it up, and you can tell when it's ready. Like I said, it'll snag a little bit, and then you just go and rub it a little bit more, and that's it. It is so beautiful. And I did 2 different doors, so here's my second one. I do the same thing. I start with the wooden stick, I give it a good rubbing, and I make sure that it's all rubbed down. And you'll see I even go and get on the sides, and that's just because I'm a little extra and I didn't want to cut it off. I wanted the leaves to all be there. I think this is so pretty, and it is definitely going to go in with that cottage feel that I have in this room. I am totally loving this, and you can see my accent wall of wallpaper behind it. I think it all goes together so well. It is just so pretty. Oh my goodness. I am totally in love with my new bedroom. I can't get over it. I am just so in love with it. I have a small shelf in my room, and I wasn't sure what to do with it until I figured this out. So I had these squares I had gotten at the dollar spot in Target, and 3 to a package. So I am going to tape all these off and get ready to paint them. I like the colors that were on some of the blocks, and that's why I taped off the sides, and then on other ones I taped off just the back. I'm going to give all these blocks 2 coats of my Waverly plaster. If you're new to my channel, welcome. We do a lot of Dollar Tree crafts, DIY, gifts and decor, thrift flipping, and more. If you like these kind of videos, please consider subscribing. To all my returning friends and subscribers, thank you. Don't forget to hit the bell so you'll be notified every time I post a new video. You can also find me on Instagram as Freckled Mom. So I take all the tape off. You can see here the different colors. We have some natural wood color and some gray, and then the white ones that I had painted. And I'm just organizing them to what order I want them in. I have some letters I had printed off my Cameo. We're gonna stay with that same theme, get cozy. So I'm just gonna lay these onto each block, and I started with the G first, and I'm just gonna go through and peel off my transfer tape, and I'm just going to keep going with all the letters. I do lay the blocks next to each other. Instead of me measuring 100 times, I really just wanted to eye it, and it didn't have to be exactly perfect, but I did want it to line up. So I did, again, put them all next to each other just to keep it going in the same direction. And I am so in love with this. I am so happy I thought of this. I had no idea what I was gonna do on that little shelf. We've had this shelf for 8 years, and I've never put anything up there. So I am so happy to finally have something in that space. And how adorable is this? And that little greenery around the letters, I got that in clearance from Michael's, and I have a video coming up for that. So I'm gonna show you guys that very soon. And this is just so sweet, even at nighttime. I just love this so much. Let me know down in the comments what you think about this. I had done a little furniture refinishing as well for this project. So this is that wallpaper that I have for my accent wall. I love the colors, and this is that faux shiplap. And I think they go so well together. So I found this blue. It's made by Bear, and it's called November Skies. And this is the color of my already existing trim. And I think these colors work out so well. This is my nightstand I've had for about 18 years now. I love the detail on it, but I am definitely over the color and the scrapes and all the little dings that you find that accumulate over the years. So I gave it a quick little sanding, nothing crazy, after I cleaned it with some crud cutter. And I'm going to go through and I'm going to give it 2 coats of that paint. And this is like a wall paint. You could use it for furniture or walls. I had it mixed with a matte finish, but you could use a semi-gloss or a satin. I just wanted that matte finish. We no longer have little kids, so I thought this was a perfect finish for me. I'm going to peel all the tape off and I'm going to get the hardware put back on, and I am just in love with this color. I think it is so sweet, and I think with the dark hardware, it looks so cute. I was going to replace the hardware colors, and then I decided just to leave it. I think it looks so nice, and it goes with the theme I'm going for, where I have a cottage coastal feel, but I also wanted that little feel of vintage in here. So this is just so sweet, and I'm loving this color. I want to do this color in like every room now. It is just so sweet. So I'm a little hoarder when it comes to my decor. I have a problem with throwing things away. I got this, I don't even know, maybe 10 years ago, maybe 15. It was super cute at the time, and now I definitely need a refresh. So yeah, I don't know why there's so little change in there. It doesn't look like I saved up too much, but regardless, we're gonna do better saving this time now that it's pretty. So I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna give it a coat of my Waverly chalk paint, and I do 2 coats on this. And I wanted it to have like almost like a cement look, but without the cement, you know what I mean? And then I have some stamps here. I got all of these off of Amazon, so I will have that link down in my description. This came in a pack of different distressed wall features. So there was a bunch of different designs. This one was really the one that stood out to me. I thought it was super sweet. And I got this stamp pad at Michael's. It has a bunch of different colors, all the colors that I use in my home, so I definitely like this. And I'm just going through and I'm finding where it would look like the paint chipped off and a little bit had shown through. So I think at first I wasn't sure if this was gonna be, if this was gonna be silly looking, but now that it's done, I am so in love with it. So I'm glad that I kept going. And I just think this is so sweet. You could do this for so many different projects. Like if you're refinishing furniture, or maybe you're making a sign. I think this would be so cute. And like I said, I'm just going around different ways. So here is another stamp I had gotten. It's just like a French vintage feel to it. And that was something I want in my room, with that vintage feel. And that's it. I just laid it down and I gently pressed it. I'm going to go through and do the same thing now with a little tiny stamp. And this reminded me like if somebody just signed it. I just thought it was super cute. And how adorable is this? Oh my goodness. I just love this so much. I love every little piece of this. I love that it's functional. I love that I didn't have to pay for anything. And I love that I got to use some new stamps. And I love these stamps. They are so pretty, and they really could go for any project, and they just give it a little something something, Where we had that small little shelf, we also have an area that is like our dumping ground. And so I definitely wanted some kind of tray or bucket for us to throw our chapstick and, my husband's little colognes. So this is just from the dollar store. I painted it in plaster, and I am hot gluing my wooden beads to this. And I'm gonna make little feet for this just to give it a little extra detail and lift it up a little bit just to give it a little more dimension. And I'm gonna go through and I'm covering, so I already painted the inside, and that's drying while I'm working on the outside here. And I'm just painting everything in that plaster, so everything is uniform. I don't really paint the bottom of those beads just so nothing scrapes on the actual shelf that I'm putting it on. But if you did paint it, maybe you could put a little bit of felt pads or something just to protect your furniture. And I love this little tray. I think it is so sweet, and it's the perfect size for little colognes and chapsticks. But you could do this for, in your kitchen for your keys, or in your bathroom to put little makeups or your brushes. I think it is just super sweet. And I'm gonna go through, do the outside, and you're gonna see we're gonna do something for those handles. So this is some leftover wallpaper. I thought this was going to be super cute to match it, and I just laid it out. This was a peel and stick wallpaper, so I peeled off the backing and I just laid everything out. And like I didn't have enough wallpaper action, I needed more, so here it is. And I just am smoothing everything out, and I love this so much. I covered up those handles. You never even knew that this was a Dollar Tree little box. I mean, you guys know because you're watching this, but other people won't know. And then I have this little extra here, and I'm just cutting it off. And then I have a little bit of Mod Podge, because even though it's peel and stick, sometimes it's not too sticky. So that's, you'll see that in my next video. Sometimes it's not too sticky. So I thought it still needed a little something else. These are some stamps that I had gotten at the Dollar Tree recently, and I love them. They are so sweet. They remind me of the IOD stamps, and I think these are so sweet. And I just cut out the one I wanted, and I put a little bit of ink on it from my stamp pad, and I laid it out. And that's it, guys. Something to see right before we leave our bedroom. Have a nice day. Sweet reminder, and it's just so adorable. I am so in love with this. This is a perfect spot to put all our little things right before we come into our room or leave our room. And I think it is just so easy to make, and you could really do this for any room that you have. I have some more furniture refinishing here. These are a couple pieces that I had in my room for who knows how many years now. Sometimes my husband picks up items from jobs, or you see things at thrift stores, and we just take it, and they've never been redone. So I cleaned them up with some crud cutter, and I went outside and I painted this. And let's just say it was like the hottest day. It was so hot that the paint was drying before I could even get to the drip mark. So I had to be really careful out here. And I think this is such a sweet color. It's the same color I did on my little nightstand, which turned into a reading nook, which you'll guys see that in my next video. So you'll see everything I do with all these items, as in styling and where I put them. But I just love how adorable these are. I wasn't sure if I was going to put a little bit of white on those baskets, but for right now I left them blue. I think it is so sweet. It matches everything in the room, and I might still do a little bit of white. So let me know down in the comments if you would add white to those baskets. Here is a little Easter sign from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to transform this. I'm just taking everything off, the stickers and the backing, and getting it ready to paint. I'm using my Waverly plaster again, and you can see over there in the left I had printed out something I made on my computer, and I thought this was super sweet. Again, this is for my bedroom, but if you were making this, you could print out whatever you wanted. If it's something to match your room, or maybe a saying for the kitchen. This is something I thought of for my husband and I. I thought it was super cute and actually quite funny. You can definitely use this if you wanted to, but put your own dates. So Devin and Mike sitting in a tree, and then I put our date that we started dating, and then first came love, then came marriage, and I put our wedding date on there. So I thought this was super cute, and I designed this a little bit in Canva, and then I put it to a different program just to edit some of the words. And after I Mod Podge this on, you guys have seen me do Mod Podge before, I need to cut the edges off. So instead of cutting it, I use sandpaper, and I just sand down away from it, and that gives a nice clean finish. So again, you want to use Mod Podge first, lay down your picture that you printed, and then another layer of Mod Podge. And then once it's dry is when you go through with the sander. So you don't want to do it when it's still wet. How sweet is this? This is so adorable. There are so many ways to do these transfers. I like this one. It's easy, it's quick, and you could do this for anything. And I have these canvases I had gotten from Michael's. I got them on clearance, so were all under $1, and I took all the canvases off. And now I'm just gonna go through and do a little wood glue and a little hot glue, and we're gonna start making our window. And I've seen this with Dollar Tree frames, but I have so many of these. Like I said, I bought them on Black Friday, so I have a lot to work with. And this was super easy, and they held up very well. And then I go through and I use my plaster again from my first project, and I just go over it. And now I'm gonna distress it a little bit. I don't go heavy on the plaster or the distressing, just a little bit here and there. Wherever I feel like I did too much, I rub it off, and that is it. It's really so simple. This is just a Dollar Tree wreath. And I have this Dollar Tree ribbon here. I thought it was really pretty with the polka dots. I had it in black and white, but because I did that window frame white, I thought this would look nice with the white polka dots. And all I'm doing is just wrapping the entire thing over and over and over. I did use an entire thing of the ribbon, and I'm just gonna hot glue it to the end. And you can see I have a little spot here where it's bare. So I'm going to put on some flowers, but I have to clear up that spot after, you'll see. So we're gonna take some herbs and greenery, and we're just gonna lay it down where I think it looks nice. I was gonna stick it under the ribbon, but I decided just to hot glue it right to the ribbon. And then I have a little bit of baby's breath. I'm gonna add just a little bit, just so it's whimsical and not too heavy. I think it's super sweet, but now we need to figure out that middle. So I have another Dollar Tree ribbon. This one has a little bit of lace on it. I thought it would match. It looks cute. So I hot glued it, and then I wrapped it a couple times just to cover up that spot. And I'm gonna hot glue a little loop here just to make it look like it's hanging by a loop. This room makeover was definitely needed. My husband and I peeled the wallpaper off months ago, and then it sat just like this. I had enough, and I needed a complete renovation. On my channel, Freckled Mom at Home, you will see everything I did to transform my bedroom, including painting, DIY wallpaper for an accent wall, as well as wallpaper throughout the entire room for a faux shiplap look. We also went shopping to get new pillows, blankets, and a rug. I share ideas to style a bedroom on a budget. You'll also see some tips to update your stairs. I have tons of ideas where my style came from and how it all came together. There's a link to head over and watch that video down in my description. Thank you for watching, and I hope you're inspired to redo your bedroom or at least make some super cute decor. Please let me know which DIY was your favorite. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. You can find me on Instagram as Freckled Mom. Another way to help support my channel is buymeacoffee.com. That link, as well as everything I used, is down in my description, along with the link to the next video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.